Well, I don't know, man. I don't want to get a caffeine dependence, so I don't really take pre-workout. Man. I guess that's really the main one. Dudes who don't want to develop a dependence on pre-workout because what happens if one day I forget my pre-workout? I'm gonna have a scrappier lift. For one thing, I guess I can see a point. And for dudes who are legit like caffeine sensitive to the point where even like 50 milligrams of caffeine at like 5 o'clock at night would really keep them up. If you're that guy, then a little bit of a slightly different situation. Maybe just get a stim free pre. But if you're not going to get totally amped to the point where you can't sleep later at night, I don't know, man. I just don't necessarily see the problem. Like, sure, if I were to come in and do a lift without taking a scoop and a half of the Blue Shark gummy hostility, plus a little bit of roaring grape bloodshot, right? So stim free pre plus a stim pre. If I were to go in and lift without those things, yeah, maybe the pump would be affected. And for me, I think we all know that's a situation which I do not want to induce. Right? Anything that's going to hinder the pump, anything that's going to affect the pump, yeesh, I can tell you what, it's not going off on my radar. Or maybe it is, and I'm trying to avoid it. You get what I'm saying there. So I really just think you're missing out. And if you don't want to mess with the caffeine, if you're really locked in, you don't want to fuck with it. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but just get a stim-free pre, man. You're still going to benefit a ton from all the vasodilating, aka pump ingredients. I didn't take any pre-workout for the same reason for the first couple of oh geez, I think maybe at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. No, no, not 2 years, not 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And the first thing I got into was not even a legit pre-workout with pump ingredients. All I would do is take a 200 milligram caffeine capsule pre-workout. That was like my pre early on. And do I think that my pumps would have been better back then if I had, had some citrulline and arginine and all sorts of other mushroom, whatever extracts? I don't get too detailed with all the fancy pants ingredients at the bottom. But yeah, I think it would have done me some good. Now, it's not absolutely necessary, but being able to make incremental adjustments slash improvements on all sorts of factors of your training, that stuff's going to add up. If I mean, let's just list off a couple of the big three. Let's assume you're eating your protein, you're getting your macros in, right? Food wise, you're good. I'd say up there, creatine, well studied. Take your creatine. I that's another thing I don't get when people just don't do it. I, honestly, you're missing out on free gains. So creatine, pre-workout, and then I'd say multivitamins, fish oil especially. That's going to do you good with your omega 3 fatty acids, whatever else. I can't say 100% for sure that I noticed this like to a proven amount of noticeability. But either way, what I'm trying to get at is when I take my fish oil on a consistent basis, and I don't mean just one, I mean I'm taking like 5 capsules a day, I can tell that my joints just kind of feel better. If I go a little while without it, maybe it's just, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Maybe it's just placebo. Maybe it's just the fact that I know I'm not taking it. It's like it makes me notice. But I swear, my knees feel better, elbows, everything. Right? So, little stuff like that. Getting better sleep. It's not like an extra half-hour sleep is going to change the way you look dramatically from the guy next to you. But if in every little factor of shit outside the gym that relates to progress, diet, supplementation, sleep, I guess that's really the big three, right? Whatever you can optimize, it's going to add up. And over time, even just a slight difference in, let's just say, rate of progress, that's going to change and change and change and change and change. Then you're going to be up here while somebody else is going to be down here. That's just kind of how I feel about that matter. So basic gist of what I'm trying to say: take your pre, take your multivitamins, take your fish oil, get some sleep, and stay hydrated with electrolytes. You get all those three things done, plus you get a good amount of protein and carbohydrates, some fats. I guess that's all there is to food. And when you go into the gym, I'd say you're going to have a pretty high chance of feeling good, feeling strong, getting a good workout, getting a good pump, coming back home, and after repeating that process a couple hundred times, you should start to see some legit gains. Home, food, sleep, cardio in the morning, and then back.